So, I stopped watching Kelly Stamps.
Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Kelly Stamps and her anti-blackness. I already know this probably going to be a divided topic and a controversial topic at that. However, it's a needed discussion, and I'm planning to critique Kelly Stamps in a fair way while also being completely honest. Thank you for whoever voted on the community tab. That's how this topic won. Okay, mi gente? Okay, mi gente? Okay! We're going to start now. In this section of the video, I'm going to be talking about Kelly's background and rise to fame.
I ordered a house salad. They literally gave me a container full of leaves. Do I look like a cow?
Kelly's birth date is May 30th, 1996. She is of African American, aka Black American heritage.
What am I supposed to do with this weather? I am an African American. That means I am from Africa pretty much. I was once chasing lions in the heat.
She was born and raised in Santa Monica, California. Santa Monica is relatively a middle-class area with mostly white people. Black people are the minority behind multiracial people. Note 1. Multiracial is any mixed person, not just mixed with black people. Note 2. Kelly has publicly confirmed that she has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, aka ADHD.
I have cliff notes for the things I want to say so that I don't lose my train of thought. It's like that when you have ADHD.
It was there because she lit a fire under my butt that I didn't know existed. As I've mentioned on my channel, I have some very clear and present ADHD symptoms in my work life, and I would like to somehow squash those. I don't like to stay at a job for longer than, I don't know, a few months to a year because I get so bored easily doing the same exact thing every day. I need something that's project-based or...
Kelly Stamps is best known for advice content, lifestyle content, and vlogging content on YouTube. Her most viewed videos include How I Remain Unbothered, Watch This Before Starting Your Channel, Stop Telling People Your Business, Growing Your YouTube Channel with 0 subscribers, You Need to Start a YouTube Channel, Here's Why, and I Just Walked Out of a Date, to name a few.
But for everybody, it's not so small. That's where there's a disconnect. That's why you need an actual pastor, not me. Women don't preach, okay? I said what I said. You need an actual pastor to read the gospel to you. Okay, you don't even need this. Honestly, guys, you do need to read the Bible. But my point is...
I talk about the second channel when we get further on in this video. I forgot to mention this. Please do not harass Kelly Stamps. Do not on any social media platforms. This is a critique video and I'm not trying to cause any harm towards her. Do not harass her. No. Okay, mi gente? Okay, mi gente? Got it. Okay. Back to the video. While Kelly was in between Santa Monica, California, and New York City, she has said some backhanded jokes. A few of these jokes include making a stereotype of her absent Black father in 2018.
You know, since being Black isn't enough to prove that I am indeed Black, let's go find stereotypical things about my life to prove that I am Black. Number 1, I have that stereotypical absent father who comes by when he wants something. Where my hug at? I don't want a hug. I need school books, nigga.
Making a mockery of a Black rapper trying to get to know her and sell his CD, his hip hop CD or mixtape, whatever.
Excuse me, miss. I just wanted to say that you are the most beautiful female woman I've seen in my entire life.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. I was having a really bad day. That makes me feel a lot better.
Would you like to listen to my rap? Okay, so I went down the street to the grocery store to get some ham. And then my woman went crazy on me because I was talking to Trina and Pam. And then I got my gun and I went to the street and went and I shot all the niggas.
Keep in mind, this is one of her NYC videos, which is why numerous New Yorkers were mad. A sketch of gang-related stuff, once again, in the NYC video.
Your nice appliances here. And the bathroom. You got your keels. Another artsy piece. This one speaks to me. The red square inside the black square. It says, okay, red, that's the color for dominance and power and blood. And I'm inside the black square because I'm Black and I'm a blood.
Making bedroom jokes with Black people in the mix. And this was in 2019, once again, in New York City.
I mean, I have 500 subscribers now. I think I can support myself. I think I'm gonna buy this mansion. So this is the uber rich area called the Upper East Side. You've probably seen it in Gossip Girl. Yeah, people here are very wealthy. Kind of scary wealthy though. Like, I feel like the people who live here probably are into like slave master roleplay. That's why I don't swipe Bumble in these areas.
Most satire jokes, this time directed to Black men.
Yeah. God, will you look at that? That is the wild policeman. Okay, I'm gonna stay very far away. They are known to prey on unarmed Black men. Man, this look like that catfish bone I pulled out of my teeth when I ordered some fish fry up in Inglewood with some grits, greens, and hot sauce. Justice for Trayvon. Oh, wow.
Because of my YouTube channel. Before, I only had requests from Nigerian men in their 50s, but now everybody wants to meet me. Surprisingly, and I've put in no effort.
Look at this beautiful networking. I am bringing people together, ending racism, ending all boundaries. I should run for president, honestly. Goodbye, nice meeting you. From my lovers, to the haters, to the Nigerian prince scammers filling up my business email inbox. You are helping me eradicate basic YouTubers from this platform so I can make great content.
When I saw these videos a while ago, it didn't really offend me as I knew Kelly's sense of dry humor and I didn't took it personally, but now that I'm rewatching the videos to make this video, I realized that some of her jokes did not age well because she's not in the place to be making these jokes. Especially because Kelly grew up middle class, so it comes off as very disrespectful, very tone deaf.
Water, and that is something to be grateful for. But on top of that, I am going to the beach. If you've been following my journey, I moved from Santa Monica, California. I don't know why. It's a gorgeous place. I'm used to having the beach around me, and I can't even swim. But that didn't matter because the beach is an amazing place to be. It is free. It is therapeutic. It is free.
It's so stupid when people say stuff like this because I'm like, wait a second. If you're Black and you make it out the ghetto, first of all, I never was in the ghetto. I'm in Santa Monica, which is like double whammy because people hate me already for being born on the West Side. These comments don't make any sense because if you're Black and you make it out the ghetto, people are gonna hate you. How dare you leave your people? You should be hanging outside of Chex Cash forever. You should be.
And I understand why certain people had an issue with her doing these types of jokes. And then when you look into the history of Kelly Stamps exclusively living in between Manhattan and Brooklyn, it shows that she has a complex of the ideal New York City dream, which is living in between Manhattan and Brooklyn, which is why certain comments that she says about New York City always comes off as backhanded and very tone deaf once again. Then when you talk about the jokes that Kelly makes about men, specifically black men, it comes off as very weird, especially because of the type of guys she seems to be more interested in, which we're going to get further on in this video. Yes, it's no secret that Kelly Stamps is a capitalist. I want to read a comment from Kelly's "I regret moving to NYC" video. She states, "It's fun coming back to my old videos now that I've made progress financially. I can afford a 3-bed in Tribeca if I wanted, but I still don't think it's a good place to live. It's a great place to survive. Every day is a fight against rats, subway assaults, and moist worm trash on the ground. I'm living peacefully in safe Boston, but it's boring compared to NYC. My advice, don't move to NYC hoping to get it together. Your life needs to be together prior to moving."
Guys, can someone make me rich already so I can live between Paris, New York, and Manhattan Beach? I want to be iconic for a living. That's it. That's it. I've been saying this from day one, and I said I can't wait to live a semi-private life of being kind of mysterious, floating here, floating there. And that's a totally achievable dream. Many people told me it wasn't, but look at me now. Where do I live? I don't even know where I live.
Her making jokes about poor black people and working class black people doesn't surprise me, but it is tacky. And this could even be related to anyone, regardless of race, who lives in New York City and happens to be poor and or working class. When it comes to the criticisms of Kelly's, I guess when it comes to her jokes about her hair, it's not really tricky to explain, but as a black man, it's hard for me to it did take me a bit to understood why people were so mad, specifically on Lipstick Alleyway and Reddit, about Kelly, I guess, making fun of black hair, specifically her hair.
That guy with the balls got on my damn nerves, so I finally left. My beach day is over. I am left with stringy straight ends and nappy edges. I guess this is the SoCal Hollister. Sidebar, I haven't worn my natural or semi-natural hair in such a long time. I forgot about the stares I get from white men. And they're not bad stares, they're just stares like, huh, I guess black lives do matter. And that, my friends, is one of the coolest things about being black. My hair defies gravity and sucks up all the space. Wow. Despite the length, it's actually pretty realistic. It's like, it's got that Africana texture, you know what I'm saying? It's got that kinky streak.
This is better than watching Law & Order. The Dark Lord Fader responds. The Dark Lord Fader strikes again. He says, "Good, glad everyone's accepting standards, because I don't want to date women who wear makeup, fake hair, or fake eyelashes."
When it comes to this, I had to ask my mom and my sister's feedback, and they kind of agreed with what I thought, which was, for the most part, Kelly wasn't taking herself seriously. It was more of a joke. I know that not everybody prays when it comes to black hair, especially black women, but in this case, and as I've said earlier, when it comes to Kelly's humor, this is not something new, so I'm not really surprised that she made these types of jokes. And I did rewatch these videos, of course, to have an open mind. But in my opinion, for the most part, it's coming from a not genuine place, but more like a I'm just joking around place, if that makes sense. I'm a black man, so I do not want to get too deep into women's business, specifically when it comes to black women's hair. If you're not familiar with the beef between Jenna Brown and Kelly Stamps, I'm going to try to break it down here, but of course quick. In the beginning intro, I introduced Jenna, kind of, and basically Jenna Brown is a Canadian YouTuber, where she used to be a YouTuber, but we'll get further on into that discussion. So Jenna Brown used to be a YouTuber, and she's from Canada. She happens to have an eye condition. I forgot the name of the eye condition because it's been a while since I watched Jenna's videos. People compared Kelly and Jenna numerous times, specifically in the beginning of Jenna's career on YouTube. Then that's when she started to watch Kelly, and then she started to interact with Kelly on social media, not on the or they friends, but more like a fan to person they look up to, a celebrity. Because if we're gonna be real, Kelly, while she is an internet personality, she is kind of heading into the celebrity market. Within that interaction, Kelly ended up sharing Jenna's channel. That skyrocketed Jenna's YouTube channel to having over 1,000 subscribers. And then because of that, Jenna got monetized. And I found Jenna because of Kelly too, which is funny. But yes, I found Jenna because of Kelly. After that, that's when Jenna started to do a bit of more content related to Kelly Stamps, because that was keep getting her recommendations. And then she started to get jealous of Kelly, which we're gonna talk about that next. So basically, she started to get jealous of Kelly Stamps, and she made a few videos about her. It's not on the internet, so I couldn't really find them besides videos about people talking about this whole situation. Jenna made a video about her opinions on Kelly Stamps before she made the next video that we're talking about, which is why I stopped watching Kelly Stamps.
So, I stopped watching Kelly Stamps. I made a community post about this today because I wasn't sure if I was gonna make a video about it, because I know there are gonna be some people who think that I'm just using her name in the title for views, and you can think that if you want, but I just really wanted to talk about this.
In this video, she did a breakdown as to why she stopped watching Kelly Stamps around June 2021 or July 2021. I'm not really sure, because when I did the research, most of these reaction videos were like in July, but then the videos, it shows that it came out weeks ago, so I'm not sure when. But yeah, then the videos, well, I believe both of the videos that she made about Kelly, they went viral, but the second video went very viral, to the point that Jenna started to receive a massive amount of hate and dislikes in her video on Kelly Stamps.
First found her, I thought she was really relatable to me, but now that she's quote unquote made it and she has like 650,000 subscribers, she's making 5 figures a month buying like designer clothes or whatever, Chanel bags, that kind of stuff that I don't know about and don't really care. Seeing all that stuff isn't relatable to me.
And then people also accused her of being anti-black towards Kelly Stamps, because she was praising white content creators within her video on Kelly Stamps and talking about how she never felt jealous about them, but with Kelly she did felt jealous. And then what's more messed up about the whole situation is that you do have to agree that Jenna was anti-black towards Kelly because of her being jealous of her, because she's a black woman who's successful on YouTube. I do believe that, and even at the time, I did believe that Jenna wasn't trying to come in a malicious way. However, her certain things that she did does prove that she was being anti-Black, and it proves that Jenna has a lot of insecurities that she needed to work on, and her being, I guess, becoming somewhat successful on YouTube, it backfired because I believe Jenna had like about 8,000 subscribers, but she was upset that she wasn't getting as much fame as Kelly. And I guess she thought that she would have received more fame too. And like I said, since Kelly's a Black woman just like her, that made her very insecure about the whole situation. I believe that Jenna wasn't coming in a bad direction, but I do see why people were critiquing her at the time. However, I do believe that Kelly could have done more to support Jenna because Jenna was harassed really badly, and that ended up making her take down these videos and further on delete her channel within time. And I'm not sure exactly when Jenna deleted her channel because at the time I unsubscribed, I think a month or 2 months after, because Jenna did say some backhanded compliments about how she doesn't support other Black YouTubers who do not quote unquote interest her. And that pissed me off as a Black content creator, especially at that time. I'm like, why would you say that? But regardless of her saying that, what had happened to her was not okay. And Kelly should have done more to de-escalate the situation. Due to Kelly's experience with her parents, she ended up putting a comment about education and how Black people, well, Black college students are not supported enough by their parents. It received quite mixed feelings on social media, and I'm going to read what she said. She allegedly said this sometime in 2023 on TikTok. I think Black parents just want to brag about their kids going to college without actually putting in the planning and effort needed beforehand. Now, this is a bad take, as I've said earlier. Kelly grew up middle class. So I do not want to say she had it easy, because even when you're middle class, you could still have your own struggles. Trust me, I understand that. Just like how there are different levels of being middle class, there are different levels of being poor, there are different levels of being working class. So I do understand that. However, I believe that Kelly, to some extent, was spoiled, but not too spoiled. And since she grew up with majority of white people, she expected the same treatment from her parents. And for them to do similar things that her white friends and their parents did with them, that doesn't make it okay for you to generalize all Black people, because we're not all the same. And if she was more specific, I think people wouldn't care that much. Like if she said middle class Black people or mostly middle class Black people, people wouldn't care that much. But since Kelly said Black people as a whole, people got offended. And in a way, I get it, but at the same time, I was gonna make an excuse. Maybe there wasn't enough, because sometimes they put like a limit when it comes to how much words you put within a caption. But at the same time, I do not think that's the issue. I think she meant what she said, and she didn't even think about how it may come off as tone deaf. Once again, allegedly. Also, not every Black parent wants to brag about their children going to college, and or if they were able to helping their children go to college. However, when it comes to this, I do get where Kelly's coming from a bit, because when your parents are not around or not as active when it comes to supporting your, for example, college education, they tend to, I guess, brag a bit. But I think it depends of the parent or the situation. I'm not gonna say it's everyone, because that I know of, my dad does not brag about me, or maybe he does, I don't know. But that man, he has not been around for quite some time and not been as supported as my mother when I was in college. I'm not really sure if he's bragging about me graduating from college, but that's an example. But it leads to the next topic. I do believe that Kelly's more harsher on her mother versus her father, in my opinion.
The many lions out here. I'm pretty nifty. I'm a nifty person. As an only child, a child of divorced parents who gave me no emotional support whatsoever, I got this. I'm gonna go into the wild.
And I'm saying this because if you see interviews of Kelly, she's always targeting her mom. And for example, she talked about how her mother made her pay rent while she was living with her. And I believe Kelly was working. She was living with her mom. And I remember she went back to Santa Monica, I think 2019. And she was living with her mom, but she wasn't paying as much rent as of living in New York City. And long story short, I'm gonna say it, she was not grateful for her mom making her come back home and living under her roof.
Start 2 days ago on Monday. Truth is, I just don't have the amount of savings that I want to go back there. I was going to fly back and start all over again and stay with a friend and save money, but given that I went to New York only with like $4,000, I would like to go back with, triple that amount, because I learned my lesson going to New York City with not a lot of money, and I would hate to go back to New York and repeat that. And yes, the job would technically pay me enough, but I would like to enjoy New York, have some savings for the first 6 months so I can hang out, chill out. Anyway, so until I get a stellar, amazing job offer, I will be right here in Los Angeles, saving money at my mom's place. She is charging me rent, by the way, but it's not close to the amount of what I would be paying if I were on my own.
I get that we do not know Kelly's entire background when it comes to her parents, especially her mother, but I do believe that she publicly humiliates her mom more than her father. While she has done a few questionable stuff about her dad, most of the stuff she has put out publicly about her mother has been way more offensive, way more backhanded than her father.
So I was like, let's go to the Japanese dollar store and I'll tell you all about my mommy problems. Yeah, I talked way too much about personal stuff, but it's fine because he did too.
What Kelly's mom did wasn't entirely bad, because let's be real, it's expensive. The United States as a whole, numerous people cannot afford by relying on just one paycheck. So the least you can do is help out whoever you're living with, especially if you're working. I'm not saying that it's okay, but if you think about it, it makes sense, because why you're expecting your parents to always contribute just because you're living at home. And of course, it depends of how much money your parents have. But for what I'm assuming, I believe Kelly's mom did not have that much money like that.
Can you acknowledge? No, they don't. Not in their lifestyle. And therapy is laughed at. Girl, that's for white people. Oh, you acting like your little white friends because I said I have anxiety due to this. So I technically did pay in many ways. I paid rent living at home because I knew I had to stay in a toxic home. Unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend that. But if I moved out sooner prematurely, I wouldn't be sitting here right now probably. It's all about timing. I had to milk good lighting, being rent. Actually, I was paying rent. That's also why I'm like, if I'm an adult mother, a mother of an adult child, I wouldn't charge my kids rent. I wouldn't. Because in this economy, I'm like, no, stay as long as you need. I thought I was going to get the money back at one point for like a down payment. No, it's gone.
Or maybe Kelly assumed she did, and her mom probably never shared her finances with her before. But for what I'm assuming, her mother didn't have that money like that. So of course you gonna expect Kelly to contribute with the bills.
I was scheduled to work at 5:45 p.m. yesterday. Prior to this, I was getting my hair done, and throughout my hair appointment, my phone was off and it was in my bag. I leave the salon around 5 o'clock and I look at my phone and I got a bunch of text messages from my mom. They were kind of panicky. Kelly, I'm going to the emergency room. I might be having a heart attack. My heart is going crazy right now. I'm like, whoa. I call. Yeah, I can't talk right now. Sorry, I'm on a stretcher. I'm like, well, that was helpful. I tried calling twice, I get no answer.
That being said, I do believe Kelly, in some shape or form, cares about her mom. With the trauma she experienced with her mother, it overpowers the good that her mother has done. And or maybe if she redeems herself in the future. I'm just assuming, but I do believe that Kelly's mom was right for making Kelly pay rent, especially if she's living at home. And it was a discount. A deal. So Kelly has an ideal type. White men.
Apologize for the voice you got bad.
Yeah,
Maybe you can text me how to reach you.
it's okay. I don't really give my number out, I'm sorry.
Or your email.
I feel so bad when stuff like that happens because I know he was just trying to find love, but I'm just not interested in men 3 times my age. Unless you look like, I don't know, Michael Fassbender. I haven't even made it off of the subway platform yet, and about 6 or 7 old white men tried to give me their numbers. I'm telling you, when I wear my hair out blow dried, they all come out from the woodworks and they want me to put my stamp on their envelope, but I said, oh no.
Fabiola Dort says, the way you talk reminds me of Jeff Goldblum. And that's a huge compliment. That is the most wholesome comment I've ever received. Jeff Goldblum, he is so fine. He is aging like nice fine wine. He is 67. If he's 67, I am 67. I would like to be the stamp to his envelope. He can hit the stamp. He's really just icon. He's an underrated fashion icon in Hollywood, I must say. Jeff Goldblum, if you're watching, hello, please subscribe. Jurassic Park is a classic. Oh wait, is he married? Hold on, let me Google this. Is Jeff Goldblum married? Patricia Gow from 1980 to 1986. Then he married Gina Davis from 1987 to 1990. And now he's married to Emily Livingston. He can have a 4th wife, it's fine. They're all Caucasian. You can use a little bit of chocolate in there. Okay, I'm sorry. And a wigga appears. I thought, oh shit. I already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna come up to me. I mean, was I mad? No, he was fine. This was a very fine man. He was so beautiful. He had this gorgeous, that's an offensive word, I think. I don't want to say the word. He had beautiful red hair. And I'm like, oh no. Like, not no, but yes, but no. Like, I didn't want this to happen. I just wanted to sit there and enjoy the air show, but also I'm like, I never talk to men anymore. I just sit inside all day. Anyway, so I look at him, I'm like, as in like, it's okay if you talk to me, but also I don't really want to initiate, whatever. But you know this type of person. If you know what the term is, like you 100% know this person already. He comes up, walking with like his whole, limp in his leg, all like, okay. Like,
I don't know. So that's my thing. I learned that. I didn't say anything to my
okay.
ex about things he was doing that I thought was unusual. Like he would just go around saying like slurs that I thought were really inappropriate.
Okay.
And then one day I was like, I think you shouldn't say that. He goes, what? No way. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I don't know. So that's my thing. But it's not your job to change someone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I've realized. It's like,
I'm unreachable. Sorry, Drake, if you find me attractive and you're trying to like propose to me, he can't reach me. Sorry, Michael Fassbender. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Richard Madden. Cheerio. Like,
while Kelly has acknowledged of dating a few men of color, she has never publicly acknowledged of dating a black man or a mix with black men. Even when it comes to making quote-unquote jokes about guys she finds attractive, majority of them are always white. White, old, and rich, to be specific. While Kelly has acknowledged that she doesn't mind dating any man regardless of race, we gotta call a spade a spade. She loves herself some white men. As a matter of fact, she is partnered with a white man, ironic, and most likely he is middle class and or rich, because she makes it clear that she doesn't want no broke niggas. She did make this weird joke about getting a hood nigga on her Instagram story. She states, I came to the scientific conclusion that I am in need of a hood nigga. Guys with normal and legal jobs always end up resenting me because I'm chaotic and cut my bangs all day and go to the beach when I'm not editing. I should hold a casting call. I believe Kelly made this joke in 2023. It doesn't make sense. It's weird. It's very weird to me because you're not interested of dating black men or mixed with black men. So why are you going to say hood niggas or ninjas? If you're not familiar, people use the ninja to refer to niggas now. The ninja emoji. So especially black people. She's not dating no black men, no mixed with black men. So I find it very weird of her making these jokes and or talking about Nigerian men. Come on. When she talks about Nigerian men, she's referring to black Nigerian men. While that's her experience with them, it's very weird to generalize Nigerian men. And I didn't thought I would be defending Nigerian men here, specifically black Nigerian men. It's weird now looking back at all these videos and then seeing her current state and what she has done to get to this specific white man that she's with now. Okay, done with the tangent. Kelly grew up in a predominantly white area, which did affect her. And she has countlessly talked about how she felt isolated at times.
And I grew up here. So my neighborhood, mostly like where I grew up, is, I would say, Russian girls, Jewish girls, sometimes Russian Jewish girls. That's a fun combo. I'm like, shalom, saraswiti. And these girls are killing it because they're doing ballet, archery, ice skating. Some were doing fencing. These are sports that are normal for anyone in the West LA area. Like down the street here was a place where my coach's husband owns, and it's just an LA thing, right? So I think as you get older, you realize how isolating it is to be a black woman just growing up in what I thought was normal, which actually isn't normal because there's only so many of us in the US, first of all. That is just something I have to digest. I understand why I get comments like, why do you do snowboarding? Why are you in Bozeman, Montana? Girl, we're not there. I'm like, that's the point. It's fun. Think of it this way. What if you just show up? I don't know, like where do they not have Asian men? Miami. What if
I've literally never been to Miami in my life, so.
There's no reason to go. It's just too hot. Like, I know one guy there, and he's Korean. He's like, I've never seen another Korean man here. And I said, do you feel uncomfortable? He's like, no. People here are actually very kind to me. I'm like, so what if we just all went to these places and just kind of enjoyed our peace, just talk to people, and don't expect them to attack us? I get attacked for even saying that.
She also talks about how when she was an adolescent, people called her an Oreo. And if you're not familiar, an Oreo is somebody who acts white in the inside, but they're black in the outside, which is very messed up.
This is an Oreo. This is a human, which you should not consume. Cannibalism is bad, bad. Stop calling me an Oreo, stop. It's rude, it's ignorant, probably true. It is so fucked up living in a super white area, being a black woman. All right, I'll have the report back to you next week. All right, thanks, see you next week. You know, you're so pretty for a black girl. Thanks. You're so handsome for a racist.
2020 is my year. Oh, this is in response to the video titled Stop Calling Me Oreo, which you should watch. It's old but gold. It's one of the originals. The Rock said 8 months ago, stop acting an Oreo then. Why is it that black women like you and Candace Owens have to do all those damn theatrics? Just say what you gotta say. Shit. Enough with the Valley Girl voice, weird facial expressions, and over-the-top hand gestures. You know what's really gonna suck for me? When the race war begins, everyone's gonna be in the streets fighting, and I'm forced to be the water boy because I am too white for black people and too black for white people. I can't even fight on either side! I'll just be on the sidelines, handing out fresh gauze and towels. My neighbors just came in. Hi. Okay, as I was saying, are you still doing good? Do you need any snacks or water? Okay, this is really the only negative comment I ever get on my channel regularly, which is, Kelly Stamps, you're not black enough, your voice sounds stupid, I hate it, why do you sound like a white girl, you're such an Oreo, fuck you Kelly Stamps, you're white. I'm like, cocky. But it's kind of funny to me. I like when people have a whole character to them. But at the same time, looking at him, I can already tell before he spoke to me, I feel like I'm just gonna disappoint him, because he hasn't heard me speak yet. He just sees a black woman and he's like, dang, like I already knew that I was his type physically. I'm sorry, I can read someone up and down in Florida now. I'm like, I know everything about you. I was just worried that I was gonna disappoint him, because I mean, look at me, I have a spatula, okay? I dance to K-pop in the streets. I'm not exactly what he might think I'm gonna be. I don't know. If you watch my channel, you know what I mean. As in, like, we're all kind of somewhat awkward and just don't really fit in. But to my surprise, he didn't make any expected comments about how, like, oh, you sound white, or oh, you're so skinny for a black girl. Like, I was so surprised. I thought,
while I have never been called an Oreo before, I empathize with her. People have accused me of acting white before. So if you think about it, it's kind of similar to being called an Oreo. However, being called an Oreo has more of a heavy weight to it because it's more of a derogatory, it has a more derogatory element to it. I do believe that Kelly played a factor into more people sharing their experiences online when it comes to being isolated as a black person who happens to not have the quote unquote something that people would expect for a black person to do even though they do not do it. Kelly has been making it clear that she will not speak on politics since 2020. As a matter of fact, she got into a situation with a brand who happened to use her likeness to promote Black Lives Matter when the George Floyd situation happened at the time. And Kelly got very offended and she called them out. And then they took down the post, and yeah, that was the beginning of Kelly not speaking on politics.
the app told me that I spent 2 to 3 hours on Instagram every day on average. But during this police brutality crisis, I spent over 4 hours a day on Instagram. Let's put that into perspective. There are 24 hours in a day. I spend about 7 and a half of them sleeping, the other 7 usually eating, and the rest is watching Law & Order. So let's just go back. I spent over 4 hours a day scrolling through my phone. Doing what? Watching violent clips that I don't need to see, and responding and fighting morons in the comment section. The title of this video is How I Remain Unbothered. I said this is an art form. It takes time. And you can't be mad at yourself if you react to certain things, and I think sensitivity is good. You should feel things. If you don't, you're a sociopath. You need to go seek help. I do react sometimes, and this nonsense going on social media was just hurting me emotionally. I'll give you an example. What sent me over the edge into deleting the app as a whole off of my phone was when these random fashion mood board pages, you know, they post pictures of influencers with their like perfect outfits and they're usually in Paris or something. They randomly started posting pictures of me. They didn't ask. I don't really care because I would have put something on Instagram that I don't want to be reposted. I just thought it was weird because if you go to their pages, they're all just blonde girls who look very similar. Not even brunettes. Like they don't like y'all either. Welcome to my world. They just were excluding everybody who didn't look like this particular person. So they put their little hashtag Black Lives Matter with their black square and they put a picture of me next to it. Like you might as well post a picture of fried chicken. They're like, quick, we need a black girl. Okay, Kelly Stamps, alright. Copy paste. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Friday after next. Hashtag chicken and waffles.
Which in this area, it's fair because why would they use her likeness without her permission? However, further on, I believe people were calling her out too for not speaking up enough. People expected more from her. So I believe due to this specific situation and a few other specific situations, she ended up saying she's not going to speak on politics in general. In 2021, she did an interview with the Iced Coffee Hour, and she addressed why she didn't spoke up for Palestine.
It was an email?
It was an email.
Oh.
Because I shut my DMs off just because it was just getting out of control,
Sure.
Hectic. People are like, talk about Palestine. I'm like, Palestine.
Wait, are you talking about Instagram DMs?
Yeah. Just because, you know, when you blow up at the rate that I did, which is in such a short amount of time, people expect me to not just be a YouTuber. They want to be their friend, their therapist, but also their politician, their UN ambassador. I'm supposed to talk about every single issue, everything. If I don't, that means I am a bigot. Like,
basically, she said she doesn't want to be a politician. She doesn't want to speak on politics. And keep in mind, this is in 2021. Imagine now. She definitely does not want to have nothing to do with Palestine. It doesn't surprise me, but it shows how much you cannot rely too much on influencers when it comes to speaking on atrocities of this planet. But it would have been a nice gesture. I get it. It's overwhelming when numerous people are reaching out in your DMs or in your comments section talking about, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. But you have a platform for a reason. And if they're not doing it in a derogatory way, speak up. In my opinion. Kelly did an interview with Karat, and she addressed how she doesn't want to get trauma dumped while she's traveling or outside no more, because she bumped into a black woman. I believe this was in 2023 because the interview was in 2023, but they posted it publicly in 2024. She talked about how she bumped into a dark-skinned black woman, and she was sharing her experiences as a black woman living in San Diego, California.
With the amount of people who have made me uncomfortable in public, the amount of sad things I would just happen. Like, I was at the airport, San Diego. I landed there one day, and this girl comes up to me, and she's like, oh my gosh, nice dance. I said, hey girl, we're talking. And she's relatable to me, because she looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
She got something going on. She's like black or something, I don't know. She's spicy. And she's just like, girl, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I hate living here. I'm like, oh, how? It's the most beautiful city in the world. How do you hate San Diego? She goes, as a black woman, well, you get it. I'm like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? And I got what she was saying. Because I'm so relatable at that point of growing up, she basically was projecting how hard it is for some, not all, but like for some black women to exist in society. And she's totally valid in what she's saying. She's like, at the workplace, I'm the only girl who's dark-skinned, and I'm overweight, and I feel like I got guys who don't like me. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get my bag. Why is she telling me this? Oh, because some people see me as their friend to the point where they just trauma dump on me. And it made me feel guilty.
And basically, Kelly was gaslighting this black woman, saying, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And it was like she didn't want to hear her experience. This is my issue when it comes to people who happen to be brown skin or even light skin, and they happen to be black or mixed with black. They try to disqualify our experiences, and when I say our experiences, I'm specifically speaking on the experience of dark-skinned black people right now. Certain people in the black community try to downplay our experiences just because they never experienced it. They'll go through it as much as us because we happen to be darker than them. And this part of the interview really pissed me off. I cannot believe that she thought this was okay, and I'm surprised nobody didn't call this out. Because if I saw this earlier, I would have been made this video. But you know what? It's good that things happen for a reason, because I didn't have the time to make a video like this right now because I work. Yes, I work. Kelly has a second YouTube channel called Senpai Stamps. In this channel, she talks about her Christian faith and conservative views.
I went on a date with somebody, just a date, that's it. Then he's like, oh, just invite your friends, because we're all going to go out after anyway. These friends that I used to have in Manhattan, they were radical feminists, radical. And back then, again, 2017, I didn't know what any of this meant. Like most of us, we didn't feel like we had to pick this side or this side. We all were just kind of hanging out with everybody. We're chilling, right? These girls would rant all day long. I hate men. I hate this. I hate that. Men are evil. This one girl specifically, she worked with me at a restaurant. She said, Kelly, I can't believe that you're going out with a colonizer. I'm like, oh, this colonizer, though, invited everybody to come. And guess what? When it came for the time for us to pay, when the bill came around, they were quiet. You paid. As soon as you left the room, I can't believe you go out with the colonizer. I can't believe you'd be with a man who works in finance. I can't believe you would do that. We thought better of you. You're not one of us. He comes back. Oh, sorry, I forgot my coat. I can't believe. I'm like, so you guys hate men. You hate men. You hate, even though they're your fathers, your brothers, people who you probably love and respect at some point. You're like, I don't know. You hate all these men, but you want them to pay for everything.
Now, this did not surprise me because Kelly was speaking a lot besides on Instagram, but on her main channel, she was speaking about how she felt like she couldn't really express herself and her Christian faith. This is going to be my opinion. It's a good thing that she made a second channel because it's obvious that a lot of her viewers on her first channel are not feeling her speaking on her Christian views. Allegedly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't feel like, at least for when I used to watch Kelly, people weren't talking too much about her content, and not her content, but more like keep bringing up her Christian faith in her videos, at least for what I saw.
So this article featured a few different influencers, and Victoria literally said everything that I was feeling. In fact, to where I'm like, I could have written this myself. It looks like she left the city, just like how I did. Well, I went up to Connecticut, but then I ended up leaving altogether just because I'm just like, whatever. I just want to like take a class in person and see what it's like. But anyway, she was saying how she'd been stalked, she'd been harassed, she'd been, chased down the street, she was in a constant state of anxiety. Everything she said is exactly what I've dealt with, but on actually a more extreme level. I can relate to it because the downside of, the internet practically rescuing me from hell is that I experience a different type of hell. And I always talk about, demonic addiction sometimes. I try to, not get too preachy on here, but I don't care. This is my life. This is my channel. I decide what goes on it. I don't care if more brands like to drop me. I've been dropped by 3 different brands for just simply mentioning God, simply mentioning my faith, and it just confirms everything that I believe.
There were even positive reviews about Kelly speaking on her Christian faith on her second channel, at least for what I remembered. So when Kelly mentioned about how people were critiquing her, I was surprised. While I do believe, yes, people do make fun of Christians a lot on social media, I believe that Kelly did receive a lot of support, but that's just my opinion because she's seeing more stuff as a content creator versus me. I'm a content creator too, but you all know what I mean. Her channel is her channel, my channel is my channel. I don't really look at her comments all of the time, and I haven't because I do not subscribe to her channel no more. Woo! Do what you gotta do. However, why are you disrespecting people who do not agree with you or have your lived experience? And I'm saying this because Kelly has done questionable stuff on her Christian channel. I remembered one video she was being transphobic.
The idea that you can just, chop your dick off and become a woman overnight, giving up these things is a very small price to pay.
The idea that you can just, chop your dick off and become a woman overnight, giving up these things is a very small price to pay.
I did remember when Kelly was trying to be transphobic in one of her videos, one of her Christian videos, and I was like, I also remember when Kelly made a specific video about Black Americans and how Black Americans are not, basically it was like a ranking of how she feels as a Black American woman. And she was mentioning stuff that does not make no sense, especially for someone who is a Black woman who happens to be middle class and predominantly dates white men. It didn't make sense to me. She was projecting other Black people's experiences, specifically Black women's experiences, and talking about baby mama culture, Black Americans being obsessed with race. There were more stuff I forgot because I do not have that type of evidence because Kelly privated the video. And when I was trying to screen record it at the time when I found out about this, she privated the video quick. And I think, in mind, this video was up, I think, for a month on her channel. It was up for a month. So she knew that people were going to come for her. That's why she took it down. That is why she took it down. Otherwise, she would have kept that video still. I believed maybe people, her friends and or family members, and even maybe a few of her viewers criticized her privately or publicly in the comments to let her know that's not okay. That's why she took it down. But you see my point? It took for that to happen for her to do that. And I'm going to say allegedly because I'm not sure. But that's my opinion on that. You can have your views and still be a Christian. There are different levels of being a Christian. Some people are Christian because they were raised into it or they do believe in God and they do believe in some Christian faiths. While there are some people who are religious, they study the Bible, they have Christian faiths too. And then there are Christians who are mega Christians and extremely conservative to the point that they would throw anyone and anyone under the bus, especially within their communities.
It's like people almost suspect you as a creator to be nice no matter what they say.
Yeah. And I checked her. I'm like, you can go now. Why would you do that? And then she's pointing to the staff and they're all whispering and then they took pictures of me.
Oh,
and my friend who's a civilian is just they are the type of people who might be hate watching because she didn't care about the order. It was just all of a sudden, here's a celebrity at my table. but I hate her. So now I'm like, well, she spit in my food. I don't know. And she came and then she was a little bit better later on. But she's like, do you have any advice for me on like how to grow? Because the guy back there, he wants to start a channel, but he's too nervous to ask. And it's just this weird thing where I'm like, do you realize I'm a human?
Concluding statement. Kelly Stamps used to be one of my favorite content creators. She inspired me as an awkward Black man. Also, she inspired me to take content creation more seriously. I even empathized with her a lot, especially with her being ostracized as a Black woman with unique interests. Unique interest meaning not so common for a Black person to engage in. However, I cannot support a content creator who is money hungry and would do anything to throw working class Black people under the bus. Every working class Black person is unique. We shouldn't feel the need to have a middle class or rich Black person misinterpret our experiences. I'm saying this as a Black person who is working class and happens to live in New York City, specifically the Bronx. I'm not saying you cannot speak your mind freely, but the way you do it comes off as dismissive, divisive, and snarky. You want people of your class to succeed regardless of race. You want to use your faith against others who do not follow you entirely. You want to project your interracial relationships onto us while saying, I like any man regardless of race. Yeah, okay. That may be okay to the majority of your viewers, but not to me. That's why I stopped watching Kelly Stamps. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe, especially share and subscribe. I'm joking. I mean, it's what you all want, but I hope you can tell I went in deep into this video. So I hope you do what you gotta do. I said what needed to be said. Take it or leave it. Also, I do have a new email. It's called julianstevesweb@gmail.com. julianstevesweb@gmail.com. So I made this email because I believe I need to separate my private email with my YouTube channel. So I chose to make this email specifically for my YouTube channel. So if you want to send me any video ideas, please send it to this email or DM me at juicy98 on Instagram. Of course, be respectful in the DMs or in the emails, because if you're not, I'm gonna delete them and probably block you. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. Thank you and peace, mi gente.